bad time.
Welcome to
Hello,
Monday
everybody.
night, bitches.
That's one way to do this. Welcome to Monday night. We're here. Hi.
We're here to fuck you up mentally.
I mean, you know what? That's as good a way to start this shit as anything.
Bastard.
Hell yeah, brother.
You doing what I
Monday night working out trauma. It's D&D Galactic.
Yep. So, hi.
Ooh,
I'm Ray
yeah.
Talk. These are my friends. We're gonna play some fucking D&D.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah.
If I can work in a way to make this party engage in or attend a science fiction pro wrestling match, it's gonna happen.
Ooh, yeah. See, I can be Dr. Rose, the American Dream, the Galactic Dream, baby. Tell you what, the Hulk Hogan can come down from the rafters, but the American Dream will be here.
It's so much better that the mask is there, just slightly distorting everything. It's perfect. It's
I'll
perfect.
do the same lines, but as Bane.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't think I could if I wanted to.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Sorry, I don't listen to myself when I speak, so repeating myself is really hard.
Yeah. I mean, I just couldn't do it as Bane.
That's probably good. It's
the,
about as far away from Haran as you can get.
I mean, it's the
Yeah.
inflections.
All right, fuck this shit. Hi, I'm Ray Talk. We're gonna play D&D. These are my friends who are our intrepid adventurers. Say hi, intrepid adventurers.
That
Intrepid Adventurers?
Intrepid
No,
Adventurers.
no,
They
that's
all
another.
did it. They
That's
all did
another
it.
game. That's another game's thing. No.
I don't care.
It's still fun.
It's still
Intrepid
fun.
heroes.
And I don't give a fuck because we don't need to do intros. We're just gonna go. Because at this point, I think we're like, what? This is like episode 11? 12 now?
35.
Something? If you haven't been watching this far, you're lost. I'm sorry.
You got some catch up to do.
You found your way here, and it's gonna get
got some-
weird. It's D&D.
You got some
it's,
pines.
it's science fiction. 42. I mean,
42. I don't know what you're talking about. 42. What does that mean? 42.
Means
This is
that
episode 11.
What
I had-
does that mean?
but
What is?
then
what
Ray
is-
Tug gets a knock on the door and Brendan Lee Mulligan comes in and breaks his legs.
I mean,
what-
I don't have any almonds, so he's not gonna come here. None in this house. I love you. You're an inspiration, sir. Please don't kill me. Anyways,
I love Brendan Lee Mulligan.
last time on D&D Galactic, they were buying shit. Okay, intro's over.
Never been a better intro.
Fantastic.
But
And somebody
literally
got a coin
last,
and somebody got a coin thrown at them.
yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So last we left off legitimately. We did just stop basically in the middle of a shopping expedition because we'd hit our time limit. So we're going to keep just chugging on right where we left off. Everybody was in Cruciva City's cyberpunk-esque marketplace. It is the holiday of Founding Day. There's fireworks going off in the night sky. There's a bunch of people still out kind of partying. There's a few discounts going around. People wanted to do things. People wanted to buy stuff. And our wonderful party has been basically getting themselves set up for their next adventure and just kind of seeing the sights on top of it.
Hey, DM, I
Yeah?
sent you a message pertaining to a conversation we had weeks ago that has been
Weeks
sitting
ago.
in my like send bar on the computer because I usually message you through my phone.
I mean,
Oops.
well, you were literally just in a place to get one of those.
Yeah, it's
So you know where that is. If you choose to.
We can always go back. I mean, I'm sure someone else will find something unique and interesting.
Or someone else will find a new goblin to try to recruit.
I mean, there's
Hey,
always
Gonna kill us all.
Yes.
there's always a potential for goblins, which is deeply unfortunate for everyone.
Except Alton.
Goblins.
At the end of this adventure, it will just be like 15 goblins doing backstab in unison on Alton, and that will be the way that he dies.
Oh my gosh, wait,
He will
he's
live
not a
how he
halfling, he's just a goblin with disguise self.
Let's make these goblins good.
It's just the goblin the whole time.
Does your character
Go on.
speak goblin?
That's a great question.
He does now.
If he doesn't, he should learn.
He's a
No,
stone-
I don't
Halflings
speak goblin.
canonically have a problem with goblins.
I mean, okay, so
I feel like they do.
we're gonna get into this a little bit.
Racism.
Alton Goodbarrel,
Well,
on your ship before you were involved with all of this in your backstory, what percentage of your crew, if any, were of the goblin variety?
ooh, roll the dice.
You're right. Roll the
Okay,
dice.
so
Oh,
the-
please
maybe-
let it be high, and that's why they all backstabbed him.
So, do you want me to roll a D100 for this to make
You
it
don't
an
got
actual
that many
percentage?
goblins. That's too many goblins.
No,
That's too many
percentage.
goblins for anyone.
Percentage.
Percentage.
Percentage die. So yeah, D100. That'll be yeah.
Come on. Be high. Be high. Be
You
high.
stupid high.
I know several members of his crew. Percentage says
Jesus Christ.
his old ship
Three
in which
words.
he was
the other
mutant-themed.
the other 24 was Alton.
Fantastic.
Most
That is
of his
great.
crew were goblins.
And they backstabbed him. So that just means he hasn't learned his lesson.
This is
Like
his
he
goblin
would.
redemption arc. He's gonna give different goblins a chance to redeem themselves.
Alton Goblin Whisperer.
He's trying to make a crack team. Next military.
People are gonna crack something.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna somebody's gonna have an epiphany moment where they rearrange the letters of Alton Goodbarrel and it just spells Goblin Allfather or some bullshit. And then,
I am the Odin of goblin kind.
That's pretty good. So,
Goblin comes over and like, not yet, bitch. And he just stabs you in the eye.
okay, I'm gonna need another non-alcoholic beverage for this. So,
Wink.
wink, wink. You guys are in a market in Crucifix City, the capital city in the capital world of this system. There's all peoples around you, all manners of shops and things, and you kind of just have some free time to breathe right now. So we can do actually a couple of things. If there's nothing that anyone actually wants to do, we can move forward in time and get on with stuff. But if people do just want to explore and see things and buy stuff, there are a number of things you can check out.
There is the message I posted to you last week.
If we're done shopping for electronic bobs and bits, a clothing store is in order, both
Bits.
for myself and to find something to mend Builder's cloak.
Alton may as well get some new clothes too while he's at it.
Have you
Clothes
washed
is-
that cloak yet?
Clothes is easy. So in
Cloak has been washed, yes.
Okay, and that's fine.
In the 200 plus years that I've had it.
I mean in the 200 past minutes.
No.
No, we've been shopping for at least that long. Where have you been?
you are standing in a light
Washing
rain,
my
so
clothes
it's
and taking a
debatable.
shower, we were in the sewer.
I don't smell, so it doesn't bother me.
Trust me, friend, you smell.
I mean, a little bit oily, but I wouldn't say sewerish.
Those tentacles were practically made of shit.
They were in fact made of exactly shit.
Which
If you were in a
tentacles are
sewer.
you talking about?
The clothes
The
off.
ones that
The
nearly
ones
killed
in
us.
the ones in the
A giant shit monster. in
Okay, so the
sewer
ones
in the
I did
dungeon.
not summon.
No,
Okay.
not
Indeed.
those.
Oh
Not
no, no,
those.
no.
Thanks. So okay, what would people like? So okay, clothing, right? Clothing is easy. That is not actually even anything we need to like full blown like role play out. I'm just gonna say, depending on the level of clothing that you pick up, I'll just throw a price at you that it costs, and you tell me what kind of getup you want to find.
So, for a builder, we're actually looking for cloth to try and match his, and his cloak is fairly special, if I recall, and so that may actually be a really interesting roleplay part.
Okay.
Otherwise, Fee wants a very pretty, mostly see-through dress with like little lace to cover the important bits.
The important bits. So we're going like all the way with this. Okay.
Yeah, I'll find what I have in mind, so I can send you an image in Discord. It's pretty common, like, nonsense.
You find a store called Vecna's Secret.
Uh-huh. That is not okay. Not okay.
His secret was he was a righty, not a lefty.
Humor.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you're getting like just like a dress that's like not full blown like getting into like fine clothes, like super expensive clothes, so it's not like crazy, I would say you could probably pick that up for like a good one, like 2 silver. So we can just say you legitimately have it, deduct 2 silver, and you're good for that.
Awesome.
What are other people looking for?
I'm looking for fancy party clothes.
Okay, fancy party clothes. Yeah, again, so if it's fancy, again, I'll say like 2 silver, and you tell me what it looks like.
Remember those robes that Ron Weasley got in Harry Potter that were just like 20 years out of date?
Alton has a better sense for fashion than Ron Weasley's family does, apparently. So a black shirt and some black pants with
Okay.
it's just pure black, all black clothing. Black boots that are really, really fancy.
That's actually a very good point. What I want to ask you on this, because we've done a lot with halflings, and you got called Big Toe a lot last episode by a specific goblin. Halflings culturally usually walk around barefoot because their feet are just a giant fucking callus with hair on the top. That's basically halfling feet. Are you going with the halfling tradition of walking around barefoot, or are you bucking that tradition and doing the whole pirate boot thing?
I'm bucking that tradition and doing the pirate boot thing.
Cool. Okay.
Alton got one too many splinters on the ship and realized I should wear boots. So let me find.
Okay. So, you get that? Yeah, that's 2 silver. Nice clothes. So, what is going on with this builder and cloak and clothes thing? What is going on with that? This I know nothing of.
You got it, Builder, or?
Well, I don't know how to mend it, and you had offered, so I'm more than happy to pay for everything that you need and your services, if you think that you can repair it.
I just need to find some suitable cloth. I know you said that the fabric was a little, perhaps hard to find. But if we could find a match, at least in color, that's all I need. If you buy the materials, I don't mean payment.
The fabric, I mean, it's old. I don't know if there is a suitable substitute. anywhere around here, but if it can match, I'm fine with that.
I'm sure there's somebody here who works with seamstress. They could tell us where they might find, or if they have some cloth that'll match, or...
I would say even in the place that you guys have been buying clothes already, there would be at least, it's definitely not of the same make, or necessarily even of the same material. But it wouldn't be difficult at all, like not even a roll required, to find something of the same color that could be used to do exactly what you want to do here.
Then, just with a moderate bit of preparation, feel measure his cloak, and then buy enough fabric to reline the inside, because that's usually what kind of falls apart first, and then mend any holes and rehem.
Okay.
Probably like a couple.
Is that like a
yards.
magical thing, or is like she's actually like doing that with her hand?
No, she's just gonna like mend that. Like she'll have to go home and do that.
Okay.
You said a lot of words that I don't understand, so I trust that it's in good hands.
Fantastic.
I promise to return it to you at least as good as I found it.
Not hard to do. Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
What is the cost that I owe?
I would say that amount of cloth is like, we're talking like 8 copper, not even much.
I'll give a whole silver then.
Done.
Did we have any other shopping to take care of? I think with this, I can do the mending I've promised, and otherwise, I am content.
Okay. So if anyone...
Tatsu would probably go and get updated clothing since his is old and tattered up.
Cool.
Since he's got money now.
He does have some money. So, what kind of level of clothes are we talking about here?
Oh, we're talking about stuff befitting the son of a lord.
Okay. So, I will say it is Founding Day. Full-blown fine clothes, like fine clothes,
It should be fine.
per D&D terms, that shit's 15 gold. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
Hey, look, it's man.
Which is a
Can't
little
be
on the unnecessary side of things. So I guess I will say unto you, how much money are you willing to spend? And that will kind of determine.
5 gold. I'm willing to spend 5 gold.
That's alright, so we're making an investment here. We're making an
Yeah.
investment. Okay, with that, you give a seamstress who seems like they know what the hell Dracarian make clothes is for, and you tell me what he finds for 5 fucking gold. He gonna look sharp.
Okay. It would be patterned.
Okay.
There it is. Your very classic samurai movie.
Okay. And because it's easier just for me to do this than do anything else. Very classic. Tatsu walks out looking like, well, honestly, like he just walked out of home.
So, given that he spent 5 gold on I'm sorry, go ahead.
He just stands and he goes, better.
So given that he's just spent 5 gold on this, I imagine that it is like well tailored and
Immaculate.
Mhm.
Bless you.
thank you, sorry.
Good.
Like well tailored. I mean, it fits him well on top of it being what he looks like. It's not like he's dressed in. It doesn't look like he's dressed in his dad's,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's got like the bracers going on underneath. It's got like a thing that like fits it. Like, important question. This goes either way with Dragonborn. Tatsu, does he have a tail or not? Not all of them
I'm
do.
going to say yes.
Okay, and in that case, the edge of the robe is like set up in such a way where it is able to like move out and free. It looked good. It looked real good.
I have a follow-up question.
Hit me.
Sophie picked up a casual gown. Given the context of this one, approximately the same thing, but like evening wear as opposed to something she'll wear all the time.
Okay.
Would that be a little bit more expensive?
If you're looking for something that'll get you into like a higher tier like establishment, it depends on what you are looking. Less what the item is itself when we're talking about clothes, because we're talking about clothes, things can get real subjective real fast, right? One thing will not mean as much to one person as it does to another. I should say, what is the goal with the outfit? Is there a specific thing that you want to do with it, or a specific type of people or group that you're trying to impress with it?
Yes, the latter. So this would be like a dress to wear out for an evening. Should they be like going to meet somebody fancy or mingle about the equivalent of nobles? If you were going to
Nobility.
attend a council meeting, kind of like, well, maybe not quite that fancy, but
That's
like
real
a
fancy.
fancy evening dinner mixer.
I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, you can probably do that, and it's going to be going from the silver into the gold territory. You have a fun night out shopping, trying stuff on.
So probably if this dress that I purchased first is common, it's probably be like fine
Okay.
clothing.
Fine
Or
clothing.
it's simply a step up. And then I also just need to know what it would cost to get like a tunic and breeches to wear beneath her armor.
So regular clothes, just regular ass clothes. I'm gonna even look that up for you directly, because that is gonna run you just regular ass clothes. It's probably gonna be like the sturdy type, right? So that you would wear in combat, and it would be kind of like effective. That would be probably about 5 silver. The fancy clothes, we're getting into gold. So I would say you're going to spend on it how much you want to impress.
Valid.
So that is entirely up to the player how much you want to burn on it, because you could find almost the exact same outfit, but it's the one hot brand right now, and it's more expensive, just so that you like. I spent more on this, so it means more to the right people.
How
much do you want to burn on the potential of meeting with Nobu?
Currently none. But people look very longingly at such gowns. There will be a moment where
Got
she's
it.
like, clearly familiar with these kinds of clothing, but choosing to not purchase them at the moment.
Okay. So, on that, while everyone's around, everyone who's just like wandering about on the street and wants to just take a good gander at this stretch of street where it looks like a lot of the AG people go and like get gear and weapons and stuff. Roll a perception check, see what we can find. Somebody was already ready. Several people were already ready.
I
Everyone's real good about shopping, okay? Wow.
I would like to do something real quick if I could.
Yeah, what you got?
So Builder will hang back to that store in which Fee was checking out those gowns or whatever.
Oh.
How much are they? Give me a gold number.
Let's say the ones that she was looking at in particular was two gold.
2. I'll buy it in secret and put it in one of my compartments for later.
Give me a stealth check.
Fuck you.
Or not, so would it be stealth or would it be like, it'd either be stealth or sleight of hand, whatever.
It doesn't matter, I suck at both.
Okay, just whatever.
The hatch squeaks.
It's not completely terrible.
But look how hard Fee's
I would've-
looking at other
But
things.
I wouldn't have, I would have waited till everybody left.
Okay.
Till everybody was gone. Completely gone.
I'm just making you roll so that it actually
I know.
happened.
It's fair.
So that everyone can feel that it actually occurred.
Dice
So,
or it didn't happen.
basically everyone. It's not very difficult, but people hit high enough. The shops that you can see in this area that looks like this is the zone that most is oriented towards AG members, right? Gear up. Because they don't have their own stores, they have, they definitely, if they would have had their own stores, it would be in the guild hall itself, but they want people to go out and spend money in the city.
They give back to the economy.
They do. That's actually part of the agreement that they have for being in this city in the first place. So, as far as weapons go, you have the Dark Iron Forge. You've been there already. You've already been to Juanita's mostly legal gear shop, run by our ghoul. You also see a couple of other shops as well. You see what looks like an armory, as in not a weapon shop, but an armor shop. It's called War Mountain Armory. You see something that has the staff and the snake that is obviously even in this setting, serves as a symbol of medicine. And then in kind of like grungy text, it says Bricks Quick Fix on it. So you could conceive that it's some kind of medical tech. You see a place called Cruciva City Cyberware. And then way down on the end, you see what looks like a bit of a magic-oriented place. It's called Southside Spellworks. And that kind of fills up, like, those are the legitimate options that you have when you're going out shopping in the city. There are other places, because it's a huge city, but as far as the main dregs of stuff that is like, this is where everybody goes, that's what you got.
Now, last time, Juanita? Juanita told us all the way down, and to our left was
If you wanted to go to the
something,
cyberware shop, yep.
right. Well, you just mentioned cyberware, and so I didn't know if that was the same or if that was just the casual. That's
That
clearly where they
is
said the
the same.
adventurers.
Cyberware implies literal magitech stuff that is surgically implanted. So if you're being this for the purposes of you knowing what you're dealing with here, that's like if someone was to lose a limb and wanted a new arm that has a rocket launcher on it, that's where you would go. It is surgical in nature. It could have potentially like a few things that weren't like overly expensive or that not kind of like the contact lenses that you're sporting, but at the same time, you realize that you're looking at this place and you're thinking about maybe I don't need that dress. Cyberware is probably certainly out of your range.
Totally fair.
That's like very much like empowering enhancements, potentially at the cost of losing part of your organic flesh body.
So if I wanted to like become the female Wolverine with the fingernail claws, it'd be expensive.
Specifically
Lady
that.
Lady Deathstrike.
That too, yeah. There's
Yes,
several
yes,
of
me.
them, but yeah, that would work. You could absolutely get exactly that there. Yep.
Awesome.
If only there was somebody
No
in the
reason.
party who's specifically going down that route.
Uh-huh.
Weird. Yes.
Yep.
Weird.
This guy might not ever get any business from you. That's fine. Not everyone's got an artificier. Do you have your medical degree? You got your license?
Sure, we'll see what he does.
Lauren, do you know?
You can talk to the doctor. You talk to the doctor back at
AG.
Dr. Frederick back at
Oh.
AG.
Heron has the nicest Tijuanan medical degree money can buy.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, he must have got his medical degree on Nixus.
Maybe.
So, where would if I wanted to add a variable scope to my rifle, would I go to the?
I would probably say you'd probably head back to the weapons shop because that is a weapon-related item.
Okay.
So you would want to have a scope added onto it.
Yes.
Okay. So a scope added onto your rifle to essentially increase its range. So let's just say, for the purposes of this, that you do go back into the Dark Iron Forge, right?
Right.
So we're gonna just bring up Isabel, and while I look up things, because your rifle now, what is its current range?
Let me look.
Let's look at that.
Vanguard rifle is.
It'll be two numbers with a slash. One is like normal range, one is considered long range where you start suffering minuses.
80 to 320.
Okay. Right. So, she would direct you to like several different lines of scopes, and they're not particularly cheap, and they all run in the they would all run in the area of about somewhere between 8 to 10 gold. But when you look down, like look in these scopes, they have a little bit of infrared going on, and what that would do is it would increase your range from, what was it again?
80 to 320.
80 to 320. That would increase your range to 150 to 500. So you'd have a rifle. So it's
Okay.
around about 10 gold for that.
Yeah, I'll pay the 10 gold for that.
10 gold for that? Okay. Well, in that, subtract your 10 gold and change your rifle's range to the first number is 150 and the second number is 500.
Important question.
Mm-hmm.
Alton did say variable scope, right? As in multiple ranges. Does that mean he keeps the 8120 so it's still effective at that range, or is it now only
So
effective at the far range?
how range works in D&D stuff? The first number is the how far out you can fire without experiencing any penalties.
Gotcha.
So instead of just 80 feet without penalties, he can shoot 150 feet without penalties, and he can shoot up to 500 feet away with penalties, a la like. It's not like a full-blown sniper, but boy, is it getting much closer to it. So yes, his for intensive purposes of like roleplay and how the thing physically works, you can dial it back, and if you don't need to make as far of a shot, it still works like that. But mechanically, you will have no penalties within 150 feet, which is scary considering you have sneak attack. I know what I'm giving you, and I don't feel bad. The power scale is just going to go through the roof, and I don't care. I don't care.
That's the cool thing about power scales is that the monsters have them too.
Balance is a fickle thing, and it will not last long in this game. I know how this works. So not only do you get a good scope, but you get a business card from Dark Iron Forge with a comm number on it.
All right.
Doesn't mean anything, but like if you need to like get a hold of Isabel, or need anything done, or even like ask questions, you can reach out.
Okay.
Isabel actually mentions like I assume that Alden is also still kind of. This is an assumption on my part, so I want to ask to make sure if this is correct. Is Alton like the exposed skin of Alton Goodbarrel, like covered with those like nasty ass like pirate tattoos that are like obvious? So Isabel kind of gives you like a once over and like, you drink a lot, right?
I do.
My brother's a bartender over at the Vortex. Tell him I sent you.
All right. I'll keep that in mind, Isabel. Thank you.
And she just kind of
Why is the Goblin King the one who gets the good things?
spending money in a dwarf's house is real easy. So, that is concluded. Is anyone else want to do any shopping or want to do any role play or anything in particular in the city beyond this?
Is there an apothecary supply store or whatever the future equivalent would be?
Apothecary being medical.
Indeed.
So that looks like you're going to Brick's Quick Fix, where Brick is apparently a name.
Cool. If you all don't mind, I just want to pop in here and see what sort of supplies he has.
So you walk up, and if everybody is, that's actually a good question, is everybody like going along with each other? Has everybody split off? Is everybody together?
Alon is just following.
Yeah, I'd say everybody's together. I'm with the main group anyway.
What's going on with the Yasana?
Yasana's not, yeah.
Yasana's pretty much kind of following along with everyone, but she does see the sign for like the magic shop at the end of the street.
Okay.
So once Fee is done with her business, she might walk over just to see what's in the window.
Cool. Okay. So we're all moving in a pack together. Good. So you go up to, firstly, Brick's Quick Fix. And in the window, there's like kind of like it's kind of a cyberpunk town, so the windows are generally pretty small. But even in the window, you can see like rows of what looks like old-timey like bread, obviously healing potions that aren't in injectors like everyone uses these days, but it's clear that you could pick up like healing potions and stuff here if you wanted to. And you go in, and it's not like exactly medically clean, let's just say. It looks like somebody has basically just retrofit a storefront into just shelves. Is very utilitarian. There isn't a whole lot of like advertising or like pomp behind it, but it's very like you can buy shit here. And behind the counter is what looks like a half orc guy. Like definitely a half orc because he's got like paler, like human tone flesh instead of like this dark green. Got one eye that is definitely cybernetic, and he's has no hair, and over the back of his head and his neck a little bit, he has what looks like tattoo of circuitry going back, just looking fancy, and he looks your way and goes, hi, how can I help you?
I was hoping that you might have, perhaps just some basic supplies for, refilling a med kit. I don't know. She kind of peers around at the, shelves and things, just to kind of see what he might have on hand.
He has, if you're looking for the equivalent of, like, say, a healer's kit, if that's what you're going for, definitely has it. So, to be clear, you already have a healer's kit in general, right? You're just looking to... is it used yet? Or do you not have one yet?
I do not yet have.
Okay. So,
She is more... So, you know how she collected some of those bioluminescent mushrooms?
Mm-hmm.
This is more looking for those kinds of supplies, medically speaking, and the tools with which to prepare them. So if that would be a medical kit, I am on board. If you don't...
So what you're looking for is drug dealers' tools.
Yeah.
There isn't one of those in the player's handbook that I know of. But we can work something out. So if you're...
Maybe slightly legal.
I would say the closest thing to that would be like an alchemist set.
Like, what's it? I'm gonna look that up actually. An alchemist's supplies. So generally, alchemist supplies come with a whole lot of chemicals and things in it. You do see a set of alchemist supplies. It's the price tag with its like deduction for Foundry Day was 50 gold. Now it's like 40 gold. They're not cheap.
Okay.
But if you're looking for something more simple than that, what exactly are you like going for? Like, what are you trying to do with these tools? I guess.
Right. So, here's the long version.
Okay.
Fee is proficient in like some basic medicine, and mostly she uses that to like mend minor wounds and things. Hence why she recognized like the mushrooms as hallucinogens, which are great for field surgery and or dosing a guard. And so she's really just kind of looking for the tools that somebody who kind of has that knowledge might carry around: a mortar and pestle, other kinds of ingredients that may be local. Things like that. Not really so much the whole set, but like a bowl to grind things up in.
Those are more cheap. Like if you wanted a full-blown healer's kit, normally that's 5 gold. With the discounts that are going on right now, that drops it down to like 3. But that is a thing that comes with like bandages, salve, splints, shit like that. So that's not really what you're looking for. As far as something like basic stuff, like mortar and pestle, maybe like an extra like Bunsen burner in there too.
Fine for wrapping things to dry. Like no, just like listen. What I really want is a witch kit.
Okay, so fun. This is where we jump out of anything that there are actual rules for, and we just start making fun shit up, and I love that. So we're gonna go. You go around this store, and instead of picking, there's very clearly like an alchemist supply box that you're supposed to buy all together. There's a healer's kit that you're supposed to buy all together, and you're one of those people that kind of like goes into like the alcohol section of a store and starts picking individual bottles out of things and filling her own up, and she wants it all rung up like that. And then you go through and you find basically all the things that you're looking for. And you bring it up to the front counter. Brick looks at it and goes, He squints, and you see him go like this on his eye, and it glows a little bit. And if you look close enough, you can see like little lines of text going really fast. And then this giant orc dude that looked like he was about to have a panic attack right in front of you. You see his shoulders like visibly drop, like, it's the best investment I've ever made. That's like 4 silver. You're muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I have to do math. Hold on.
It's okay. 10 copper and a silver. 10 silver and a gold. It's a 10 base.
Okay, she's gonna give him. Yes, I had to. I had to convert. I don't have a lot of money. I'm spending it all tonight.
Yep. The life of an adventurer.
Yeah. She will give him 6 silver. For the set. Because she has gone through and fucked with things. And
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, she'll slide those across, and she'll be like, I appreciate these supplies. If you end up with anything special, and she'll like, he's got his little like fancy ice screen, right? She's got her own. She will kind of beam him her info and be like, keep me in mind if you get new herbs or anything of that nature.
You get like a little pop up in your vision that is like basically friend request accepted, which is a thing that can happen because yay, it's science fiction and we can do things like this now. He's like,
we're killing Matt.
Yeah, yep, that's. You're still muted. It's not. It's fighting you. There you go.
What?
Yeah, okay, it's
Okay.
working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was just saying it has to do with something I've made.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't-
Oh
I don't
no.
wanna- I don't want to talk
Don't
about
spoil it.
Oh,
No, it's
no.
fine.
It's terrible. Okay. Right. So, with your new satchel of witch's tools, essentially, that does fit stylishly on the belt. If I remember correctly, you guys were going to go down towards the South Side Spellworks, I guess.
Correct.
All right, Yasana
Yes.
kind of leading the way there. So you go that way, and when you get to the outside of that store, there's definitely a little bit of Melamar in its makeup. So the elf world. So even with like Yasana leading the way, you have feelings about elves in general, because there's kind of there's tension going on with elves and Melamar. There's like a bajillion different varieties of elf. There's like ranging all the way from like the Illadrin from the Fae and like the high elves all the way to like there's like aquatic elves and moon elves and whatever. When you go to this Southside Spellworks, you see it looks like on the sign itself there are little like bone charms hanging. There were little like really old kind of like square looking symbols, and again, not really needing a check for it, you kind of get a little bit of like what would be considered like a wild elf vibe.
Okay.
So you're not about to so at least you have that tiny little like, oh thank god, I'm not about to walk into a high elf place.
Right. Okay.
To all of those not really having the problem of, well, if they or do not have problems dealing with elves, when you walk in, it is a kind of a. Fix this real fast. Again, it's kind of a small place, as all of these buildings have been kind of retrofitted into what they are now. But there are definitely feathers hanging from charms on the wall. He's a dream catcher off, like, above the door. This gives you, like, a very heavy, like, you just walked into, like, that one pagan shop that's in the city sort of place. There's definitely incense going. There's tapestries hanging from the walls. And walking around, like, fixing some things off in the corner is an elven woman that
Go on.
turns around
Get
and
out of
looks
here.
at you. Says, hello, can I help you? And she is definitely of the wilder variety. Her hair is like down in braids in front of her. She actually has very tanned skin, markings over her eyes. Very traditional necklace. Whereas wild elves are taking inspiration from the Native American variety in this setting. So she looks over all of you as you are a very varied group. You see quick surprise, and then, oh, right, adventurers. You just see that happen in her expression. How do you do? I'm Hana. What can I help you with today?
During their conversation, in the background, you can see Tatsu just like the little kid that doesn't know what stuff is, like just picking up bottles, tapping them, shaking them a bit.
Okay, so that's going
Stuff
off
he
in the
shouldn't be doing.
background. What's Yasana doing? Because it's clear that she's coming up first.
She's looking around the shop at the moment, trying to see, like, are there any items that she might be able to tell look magical?
You can tell that this shop is basically one of those, like it alternates between stuff that you would find in like a little magic shop, like moonstones or what have you, that are like actual like little spiritual things, all the way into like very legitimate magic items. You do see like they're kind of cordoned off in sections, and then when you go to other things, you will actually see like boots and bracers and cloaks and one or two things behind glass like wands.
I'm
Bunch of
looking for something that can give me a little bit of boost. A bit of a boost with my magic. More power behind the spells. Or any little trinkets of protection.
Trinkets of protection. Well, let me see what we have. And she starts going back towards one of the areas. Well, as far as protection goes, probably one of the more affordable things that we would have would be starting here. And there's like a clear like list of like a display of like rings. Most of them are in the shape of like an actual little, like if the band of the ring was here, on top there's like a little shield. Like, we do have rings of protection.
Okay. Would she happen to have anything that might carry like an extra spell slot?
Things would be like extra spell slots and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the more affordable like ring of protection stuff, you're looking at like ring of protection is like the price tag on that thing that she said is the most affordable.
Mm-hmm.
The low end ones are like 500 gold.
Okay.
Magic items are the opposite of cheap, and the stuff that you guys have kind of gone around and looked at so far is remarkably affordable compared to everything. Well, not everything in the shop, as there's like little ritual tools and things of that nature, but magic stuff that you just straight up buy instead of find they do come at a premium. As far as other things, we have cloaks of protection as well. Those run about 800.
What kind of spell scrolls do you have here?
Spell scrolls. We don't have everything, but we do have a few. And she heads back to area in the back and pulls up. It's kind of like mail cubbies that you would like put like envelopes and stuff in, but they're labeled. And there's there's several of them that are kind of on that are like empty side, and the prices are generally along the lines of like spells, scrolls that are like and they're organized by spell level as well. Like things for like a cantrip generally run about 50 gold for like a cantrip that you didn't have that you could just cast with a
I assume like level 1 and up is more expensive than that.
level 1, the cantrip and level 1 stuff generally like around 50 gold. When you start getting to like level 2 and 3 spells, it starts to go to like 100 gold for like levels 2 and 3. And then it starts getting like, when you start getting like, there's like a bunch of like empty things around the like slots that say like level 9 spells. And they say like, it's like approaching like 50k gold to get like a spell scroll of a level 9 spell. That they currently are entirely out of stock of because nobody has commissioned them to make any. Because that's a serious undertaking.
B is just perusing these, kind of seeing what's available and like easy to get her hands on, but she's clearly not shopping at this point with any intention.
Okay.
And the shopkeep would notice that right away. I mean, you know, not that she's being rude, but just like what is available.
She's one of those window shoppers. Yep.
Yasana is pretty much. I'm pretty sure the shopkeep. She's being polite and kind of keeping her distance from like the wares and stuff, just mostly looking. But it's clear that she might have to come back in the future when she can actually afford something.
And Rahana actually kind of like turns and like takes a second look at all you. You're the lot that passed all these trials, aren't you? Like mostly speaking to Yasana because she's the one that's actually like up with the shopkeep.
Recently, yes.
Mm. It gets a bit overwhelming. I agree. Um, I cannot count how many new adventurers I've had come into this shop, look in, become depressed, ensure that they will never be able to afford any of it, and then a month, I'll be back.
Well, I'm not depressed. Looking around here, it just gives me a few goals to save up for.
She actually like when you mentioned that like you're like she's like the goal that you are setting for yourself. She kind of like actually like puts her hand over her heart a little bit. That is very very kind of you. If you are interested in anything in particular, please let me know, and then if you have like even if you do not see what you are looking for here, let me know the kind of thing that you would be interested in, so that when you inevitably return, I can locate something that would be of your interest. What is in your mind? What is in your heart? Something to increase spell effectiveness?
Yasana kind of looks at her staff and the little it looks like a large glass marble attached to the head of it. That's actually her spell focus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more or less looking for perhaps something a little easier to carry, conceal.
A spell focus. I think we can probably definitely do that.
Probably, definitely.
Let's see. So, we can definitely do something about that. Come this way. And she actually takes you to an area of the shop that is... Oh god. So, sorry, Harambe, when you lean back to look, your head just disappeared into the fire because the green screen kind of fell out halfway. Sorry. It was too good. But, so Yasana, Johanna kind of takes you kind of in between, like where the expensive magical items are, and the other side of the store where it's just like a lot of the ritual tools and stuff. And there is one like kind of long shelf that has a bunch of they're very varied. They go from everything to like a small line of crystals in most colors. They go, and there's like one that is like a small like raven's skull. There's like tons of spell focuses in a number of like different shapes and sizes. There's like little athame daggers. There's little like a necklace that can be worn. There's a bunch of different varieties. Is there any particular kind of thing that would call to Yasana as far as a spell focus goes?
Obviously something more weaponized. Probably something made of bone. Something with history.
Roll me either perception or investigation, whichever works better for you.
Perception or investigation?
Yep.
Oh, definitely investigation.
Okay.
It's gonna take forever to load.
Okay. Not doing it?
Oh, here we go.
Okay. 14. So you definitely find. Yeah. So I was setting it at a 13, actually. It's not necessarily. It's kind of like that bit at the end of like the Holy Grail, right? There's all of these really, really shiny, like crystals of like every bright color you can imagine, like gems and all these things. They're like are for much like colorful, powerful personalities and everything. You find this one thing that like you look at it and it just gets you. There's an athame, so it's like a little dagger. That one look at it like your eyes, all fucking three of them zap onto it. It's a dagger that has like a curved like cross guard, and in the center of it is an eye with a figure eight pupil in it, and the sheath is sitting next to it, so the blade is kind of displayed, and it's got one of those like serpentine wavy blades to them.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely speaking to your patron a little bit.
Iyasana gestures towards the knife. How much for this one?
I was wondering when this one would find a home. Between the discounts we have going on because of our holiday, that's 6 gold.
What's the story behind this one?
This one has been sitting in our shop for quite a while. This one came to us after, appropriately enough, an AG member actually passed. But as I'm sure you know, with the tradition in the Adventurers Guild, they fell on a mission. I wasn't told what the mission was in particular, but another group was sent out to rescue the remaining members of their team, and their body and their gear were brought back. And those who did the rescuing didn't have a use for, they didn't have a spellcaster among them, so it found its way here, and it's been sitting and waiting for a new home. Give me a quick, Yasana specifically, give me a quick Arcana check. $24. Alright. So you look over to Rahana as she's speaking to you, but like at an odd time in the conversation, so not like during one of the pauses. You snap your eyes back down to the dagger. Kind of at a point that would be like weird for the conversation. And you see the dagger that is still laying on a shelf. You see the eye in the crosspiece go from looking straight at you to looking straight up like it couldn't move at all. You caught it.
I will certainly take good care of it.
I certainly believe you. And Rahana takes takes a cloth and picks up the dagger without actually touching it, sheathes it, and wraps it up. Only charges you 6 gold for this thing. And,
I'll give her 7,
7.
just to thank her for her kindness.
She bows, and again, as with fee, you get just included in the box like a business card. So you have the basically the comm number to this this place, to Southside Spellworks. And then after, like, she has this big warm smile on her face, like she finally managed to like help someone find something that belonged to them. And she just like hears something and like looks over her shoulder, and then Tatsu's just got something in his hand. She's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing back there?" Muted. You're muted.
Nothing.
Oh, please put that cube down. You would not like to know what happens if you solve that puzzle.
What?
Oh no.
Just some Hellraiser shit.
What happens? As he looks down and sees the Rubik's Cube is completely solved.
It's not solved, but you do look down, and there's a gold cube. You see it go like with a ring in the middle of it.
Shouldn't be moving.
Put it down.
You
put it
should
down.
probably put that down.
He puts it. He ever so gently puts it down and backs away.
You see the little ring at the top that had started to move. Actually, like, lowers slightly as if it were deflating, and it goes and like clicks back into its original position, as if it has closed itself back up.
He turns back to the shopkeepers like, what would have happened? Why is that just on a shelf?
Do you believe in curses?
I don't believe in curses.
Oh.
We have a
What a
wide
shame.
selection of clientele. Let's just say that. I'm not about to shame you, but for what you may or may not be into, but that might not be a first-time buyer situation back there. Yasada has an absolute idea of what that would have been, and it absolutely is some Hellraiser shit.
Love it. So Tatsu likes his skin.
Yasana's seen some fucked up shit, so...
And Tatsu is
Clearly.
unfortunately just still some, like, he's like, I'm kind of new to this whole planet thing. I'm just kind of like learning.
Oh, he's fish out of water 120%.
He's very wise for his 15 years.
A sage. He is so, like, you've never seen a lizard sweat, but he's just looking at it like, I kind of want to pick it back up just out of sheer curiosity.
Let's not unleash whatever cursed beings might be a part of that cube.
Yeah, because then he'll try and befriend it.
I'll do better than try to befriend it. I'll run.
As if kind of on a joke, you see in the box that is her Yasana's new dagger is packaged in, a few sticks of incense are given in for free that may or may not have been labeled dragon's blood, and just hands it over.
What does that say?
If there will be nothing else.
Yasana turns back to the shopkeeper, kind of holding her new purchase with both hands, and kind of gives her a polite bow, and then tucks it into her belt.
Okay. So, Yasana, you have gotten a is actually a little bit rare as far as spell focuses go, because usually a spell focus can either be used. Well, a spell focus can normally not be both a spell focus and a weapon, but you have something that can serve as both. You can use this thing to shiv people while you cast spells with it. So,
Oh, good.
if you like,
Very
go
important
ahead.
question.
It's utilitarian
Ritual dagger, which is just a dagger.
for rituals.
Very important point about this.
Hmm.
If a spell is being channeled through the spell focus, and its range is touch, and she throws the dagger at the enemy, is that touch for spell purposes?
Ooh.
So that's a good question. I would say just because that's cool, yeah. But on the other hand, I would say that it might not be that'd be the least effective way to do it. But would that work? Absolutely. If you were like say like an arcane trickster or something, absolutely. If like your throwing skills are better than your magic skills, yeah.
Oh, I doubt that.
I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen if that thing stabs somebody.
Could be one of anything.
I mean, taking a look at it, it's like a percentage chance that is less than 0 that maybe that has performed a ritual sacrifice. You don't know, probably.
Nice.
That gives it more value in my eyes.
Oh, interesting. Terrifying, but interesting.
If nobody else buys anything, Rahana kind of helps everybody back out of the store. Mostly just making sure that like Tatsu doesn't accidentally set anything off. She's actually being very polite about it, but it's clear that she's like, okay, he's new, be nice, don't like make him feel bad, but don't let him touch anything.
Actually,
And everybody's leaving, and she can hear Tatsu just say, "I'm just saying, maybe cursed items should be behind glass."
I would imagine that most people that walk in here know not to touch.
15 is 15.
I don't think the lesson here is about how to keep stores so much as how to be a polite customer.
I totally understand. I put it down. Everything looked so cool.
yeah, this is one of those times where it's better to look and not touch because anything and everything.
Not from you, Goblin Boy.
I was gonna say, shit.
Careful, big toe.
Of all. Okay, so I have to say, with that line of "careful, big toe," this is a perfect point for us to go to a break because we're somewhere around the halfway point. I feel like this would be, if this was like an anime episode, this would be the commercial break split. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go on a brief bathroom break and get back to this. See if there's anything more we can do to buy, or we can move time forward and see what's gonna happen, or from the look of these fucking faces, what hijinks are gonna go down. So, yeah.
So many.
The answer is all of those things and lots. So we'll see you guys very soon. We will be right back.
Next time on D&DG.
Okay. Boom. We good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. So we back, and let me get my music kicking again. If it wants to.
It never does.
There you go. Takes it
Didn't you pray to the machine spirit this morning?
every morning. You don't want to know how much 40k is actually in this game.
Any is more than I want.
Good.
I got bad news.
I got bad news. Have you heard of chain swords? Anyways, so you guys are now exited Southside Spellworks, and it is basically up to y'all if the shopping episode is complete or not.
Can we hit one of the bars? I got a recommendation.
No.
You buying?
Yes.
I mean, technically, you have time. If you guys want to just like hang out and like chill before you go and like pick up the next mission or whatever, that is definitely a thing that you could do. If you just want to have high drinks,
I'm voting hijinks.
And we should go to the bar. I got a recommendation for.
My vote honestly would be to move on to mission things, but
Well,
I'm willing to be
Hey.
outvoted.
if Alton wants to go to the bar, that's fine. I'm going to go back to the Adventurers Guild and work on stuff.
work on stuff. So here's
Oh,
how we're
that's
going
right.
to do this. We're going to split the party a little bit. We're going to move time a little bit faster so that everybody basically gets what they're going for. So, some of you split up and head back to the Adventurers Guild. I'm guessing that most people start heading towards the Adventurers Guild. Who is going to the bar with Alton? Or is it just Alton?
I thought it was Alton and Blood, which would be the greatest combo.
Oh, good. Hijinks with a halfling and a dragonborn.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fantastic. Okay, so you guys kind of split off, and you have to go to like a different district to get to the bar, but eventually you find a bar with a it's definitely on the seedier side of things, called Vortex.
Oh, is it a dive bar?
It is a bar.
By definition, it has to be called a bar.
Definitely, there is every species with every hair color that they shouldn't have, naturally. A lot of laughing, a lot of joking, and a lot of imbibing. Looking around, you briefly, just moving over this quickly, you definitely get the idea that this is probably one of the bars the AG members tend to lean towards. And there are probably some here, as there are people who aren't just like in like bar club clothes or whatever. There's a few people with armor and whatever. We're probably not going to go into all that in the interest of keeping things moving. But while you are there, you definitely wind up meeting Isabel's brother at the bar, who is also a Duriger, who is very well. Let's just fucking do this. Gray skin, but the where Isabel's kind of like a little more like surface dwarf, whatever. This guy's like all the way like beard. Tips of it are like dyed like fire red, mohawk. Like he's a lot of fun, and he introduces himself as Algrim, and we're gonna have a fucking great time. And just like you get drinks were already on discount, and they're more discounted. You get a few for freezies because you gave some patronage to his sister. A little bit of cross promotion going on there, and Alton can basically spend a third of the money to get as hammered as he wants to. So I'm gonna say, for like serious drinks, throw another like 2 silver off of your tab, and you're plenty slosh.
I leave a good tip, so I'm gonna give him like a gold piece.
Done.
Y'all have so much money.
Nah, they just burning it on everything. Just living a life.
Oh, I see. You need more responsibility. The weight of the world doesn't weigh heavily enough upon your shoulders currently.
That's what my nightmares are for.
Oh,
In the last little bit in here, unless you guys want to do anything particularly like ridiculous, such as exploding another toilet in a bathroom, you know what? Just for
No
the fucking,
toilet is safe.
just for the sake of it, Blood, roll me a Constitution saving throw, because I just want to see what happens.
oh no.
And while I do that, actually based on exactly what Mizui said, a good chunk of the party is like serious, like, we need to save this money for gear and doing things, and yes!
Oh.
Yes!
Beautiful.
Yes.
Look at Grimnir's flappy tits! Boo! Just, not even at the toilet at this point. There's just like a corner of the bar that is like. Algrim walks up next to you and just like.
Why does this keep happening?
Looks like at the corner and like pats you on like. He can't reach all the way up, so he like tries to go to your shoulder and he like gets your hip instead. And he's like, if I were blind, I couldn't tell if you were a blue or a black. There's definitely some acid in that shit. And he just fucking walks around.
Maybe you should check what you're serving.
Oh no!
He just starts howling. And then there's one other dwarf that turns around like, what the fuck did you say? And Algrim just, as he's walking by, just punches him in the nose. And he just falls over, like, probably stone dead or drunk or something. As, besides the wonderful distraction that is that perfect nat one, half the party is seriously, like, we need to save our money so we can do better, so we can get better gear, we can do all this stuff. In this bar, you see that there's definitely another side of culture in the AG of we work in a job that is potentially deadly. Live every day like it's your last. And that's here. It's a fucking party. And you guys, Alton and Tatsu, are welcome to stay as long as you want. I assume that far past the time that he should, Alton gets Tatsu back to the AG in one piece. Probably,
You
maybe.
flop him down on his bed, and he's just like, "Why do I keep doing this?"
I absolutely get him there well past the hour.
I was going to say, why don't you have Alden roll a Constitution save, see if they both get each other back.
She
We
was
want
your
him to
dick.
live.
You know what? I don't mind.
Is this
being
because of
cruel.
last gaming session? Are you trying to get back at me?
I don't
No.
know. I don't mind being cruel. Alton, con save. You got? How you doing?
It's only
You gonna
fair.
make it back? That's above a 10. Like, you get back. It ain't pretty, but you get back. And so there's this wonderful moment where you basically wind up going from one bar to another when you get back to the AG, right? And it's late by the time you guys get back. Alton is like helping Tatsu, who's been like a mess. And on the way in, Tatsu, you see the sweeper bot. He just stops and looks at you. He looks at you, and there's just like one instant where he sees you and goes, I know it happened again. You are a monster.
Fight me, Roomba.
Oh, easy there, buddy. Let's not fight the cleaners. They will kick your ass right now.
The the sweeper bot actually does like look down at at Alton like, is he serious? Should we throw down right now?
He's gonna clean your clock.
No, he's not serious. He's not serious. He's just intoxicated, unbelievably so. Not that I'm not, but I know when to pick and choose my battles.
Wait. Fuck.
What is this? Int save. Oh good. Oh good.
Tatsu does not. He wobbles to his feet and draws his sword.
Can I?
I have been waiting for this my entire life.
Come at me, you Dyson dick.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check with disadvantage. And I don't have a character sheet for this NPC because that's ridiculous. And we're just gonna see what happens.
You get your shit rocked, buddy.
Tatsu has a really rough night. And surprisingly, Sweeperbot has astonishing fencing skills with a broom. It's full-blown like Musashi beating the shit out of someone with an oar. Like, it's...
He's a level 12 Roomba.
So what everyone else sees, hold up.
Does it sweep the legs?
How... Okay.
Wow. Hold on.
For doing
Hold
all
on
of
a
this
minute.
and like for doing all of this and legitimately like putting your character through hell and that fucking one-liner, take inspiration. You deserve that inspiration.
I'm glad that I got it after I got my ass kicked by a robot.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. But so everybody else in the room basically sees Alton come in.
Wait, I already have inspiration.
Well, okay.
You
Use
only
it.
get one.
You only
There
get
can
one.
only be one.
You only get
Do I
one.
get double inspiration?
You can't get double inspiration. It doesn't work that way. So you everybody else sees Alden stumble in, and then Sweeperbot, who is actually more Tatsu's size, like helps him in. And Tatsu has clearly like been in a fight. Like he's had a rough night. And like after he like hands
The
Tatsu
minute
off,
anybody opens their mouth to talk about it, I just go, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm gonna
the
walk up.
destroyer of toilets lives this day, but this day alone. And then
Builder
the door
will
just
walk
shuts
up.
behind him.
Before the door shuts, Builder will walk up to kind of help get Tatsu in,
Okay.
and he'll look at Sweeperbot, and they'll say,
Thanks for going easy on him, but you probably shouldn't have. It's only going to embolden him further.
We'll have my rivet bra.
It's more of a pity thing. And then
All
the door
the-
shuts.
When the door shuts, Alton just starts laughing hysterically to the point he just falls over. Not even trying to stand up. He just falls over and starts rolling, and says, "Tatsu got his ass kicked by the sweeper bot."
Oh, I hate all of you.
Yasana will actually come out. She
Okay.
looks around. And in perfect Draconic,
Mm.
you shouldn't have touched the damn puzzle box.
Yasana, if you don't have inspiration right now, you have it. You have it. Curses are real.
I have no idea what she said, but whatever it was.
You hear like probably a bunch of snarling and hissing coming out of her mouth.
It's
We've decided that Draconic
Uh,
sounds like Japanese.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Nato Fuku.
So it's very guttural. It's very it's Japanese with like the like in drop D.
Mm.
But so, what was everybody doing when this like showed up at your door?
Oh, Haran is working on the arm that he bought.
Right, you just got an arm. Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's making it functional and better.
Cool. What is Fee doing?
Mending builder's cloak by hand,
So-
just needle and thread.
Okay, what I'm gonna have you do is, because this is one of those things where I would love for it just to happen, but this is technically a crafting thing, so I'm going to say you will need to make a roll on this, and we're gonna say what you got that would fly for this sort of thing.
Backstory, literally only backstory. That's what I have.
Backstory?
Yeah.
That's kind of fair. So, since
Dex proficiency bonus.
I would actually say, yeah, roll me a d20 plus 2.
Builder is looking very studiously over your shoulder.
Oof. Oh no. It's
Oh
a
my! My first
So,
roll of the night.
You also do have inspiration. You want to
Oh
reroll
yeah, I'm
that?
burning that shit. Absolutely.
That's the one? Okay.
How does DM inspiration work?
So you just get to
can.
roll again.
Oh thank God.
You can roll with advantage. So this will be the advantage.
One moment, please.
It's okay. D20 plus deuce. Is there anything you can add to it?
Hang on, I'm looking.
What are
I'm
you
looking.
for?
I'm praying. Hold on.
What are you praying? What are you trying to do? Talk me through this.
I may call upon my goddess for
Oh,
the skill I
we're
need to
doing
make
this.
this happen.
You're casting a spell.
I might. I'm gonna re-roll first.
See, if you have a spell that can work for this, please do that first.
Okay, hold on.
If,
Let me
if
look.
you
in.
have like inspiration or something you can give yourself, or what do we got? You have boom, guiding bolt. I don't know. Maybe not.
I'm sorry, Fee. Am I distracting you?
Apparently.
It's been a little while since I've practiced with a needle rather than a sword. But I've done this lots of times. She looks at her own clothes, like, to be like, see, I mend my own, but her clothes currently look like absolute crap. And she's like,
Ugh. Well, you bought new ones. So I don't
spell
know.
slot.
I don't know if she got. Maybe do you have like a feature or some such?
Well, you know, somebody keeps clicking around my character sheet
Yeah, I'm
for
looking
me.
too. So I don't think you have any spells that can fly.
No, I was looking more at my, like, channel divinity cleric things in case I could be like, hey,
Ability.
help me out, lady.
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. You got with Violet Sanctuary. Is that anything that you can do? I mean, you can pray about it. We'll see if anything happens. I don't know if you actually have
No, it doesn't look like
any
the
spells or
divine.
class features that would help you in this
Yeah, I was looking for
endeavor
the...
with needle and thread that is not really the domain of the Dark Lady.
Indeed.
She just looks down upon you and like looks down at like the sword in her hand and be like, nah, you on your own, basically. Martha
And
Stewart,
Builder's
Stewart,
just
she
like,
is
what are
not.
you doing to my cloak?
think of the needle as a tiny sword as it goes through the fabric. It goes
Thrusting
through a
goes
person.
like that. D20 plus 2. Survey says. Oh no!
Are we kidding? Oh my god. Okay, well,
So
I'm apparently very
what
bad
what
at this.
happens here? I'm gonna have to take some. I'm gonna have to take some creative license.
It survived 200 plus years.
Wait,
So what you get back from this isn't like destroyed or anything, but it is one of those like she tried so hard, and it's like, Matt, as a father, have your kids ever made you anything that was like absolute like complete dog shit, but they tried so hard and they meant so much to it. Like there's like little patches and stuff. The stitching is definitely off
Think of the
and
internet
everything,
saying
but it
no.
sticks. Like it's there. Like it is not like it wasn't destroyed or unserviceable before. This is like you get a cloak back with like mostly just Fee's touch on it and absolutely no repairs to it done at all. It's just got like patches on it that are
Bless
very
your heart.
very obviously patches. We thought that the color was like the same color. It's really not. It's a little close, but it's not quite the same. If anything, it just like makes it look more worn and rugged. And in a way that kind of doesn't suck. It's not what she intended, but it is still something that she gave you.
Oh.
And that's that.
It's still better than what I could have done. I appreciate the effort.
Maybe I'll practice some more and see if I can fix it up a little bit better.
is there
10
still
points for
material left?
friendship.
Is there still material left?
I mean, there's some.
Well, if she didn't actually do much patching except with little patches, I imagine there's a large
Yep.
swath of fabric
Yep,
left.
there's some.
Can Alton give it a shot because he is drunk and thinks it's a good idea?
If you touch my cloak, I'll pull your arms off and beat you with them.
I'm
Yeah,
just yeah, that's fair.
So
Who
this-
knew that I needed to bless myself before?
Learning clerics. We're learning clerics. This is like okay. So this we call this a teaching moment. So in this this evening of revelry and kind of everybody like getting to know each other a little bit better. Not like what we would consider a team building moment. Yeah. Okay. Woo.
Yep.
Okay. So
More work. More work.
the short version is yeah, it needs more work. We're going to basically move time forward. Everybody, if they had sustained any damage or particular levels of exhaustion or spell slots or whatever, you get a night's sleep. So, Tatsu, you don't feel great, but you're better.
Over.
The hangover happens, and you're probably about halfway through it into the morning. I want to say like the equivalent of like 9 or 10. Builder specifically gets a call on one of the screens, or one of the screens pops up. I was going to say it would have gone to Builder because he was the one who asked about it, but you're in your room that has its own essentially wall video phone, so you get a call.
Build. If there is a room for Builder, they don't use it. They would be sitting out in the
Okay.
central area. Also, in the window of time where Fee would have been sleeping, but Builder could have been awake, they'll put that gift of the gown into Fee's room with just a note in like a printed font, like I almost like printed it.
It is. Like when he writes things, it's just like
it's
it
like
is just a printer.
perfectly printed. It just says, "Thank you for your effort."
Somehow, even the meaningful thank you note is kind of a dick. But that's
Nice
Builder.
try, kid.
But you do sometime around like 9:10 in the AMs, which might be too early for two of you, considering the night before.
Light.
There is a call that comes in, and it is very clearly labeled as Ishka.
Builder will answer it if they're the first ones to see it.
Hi, hi.
We'll just say yes.
Good morning, Ishka.
Where is his picture? Because we might as well, if we're talking to him. There we are. Boop. Good morning. Do you think that you and your friends are ready for your first official assignment?
Most of us are. The other two will catch up shortly. They have a very long Founders Night.
Last I heard, Sweeperbot did as well.
I think Sweeperbot had a good night.
Okay. And he like leans in kind of close as if to like be quiet to those around him, because you can't really see any background that he has. If I'm being honest, I cannot read droid facial features very well. I have never seen that thing so happy in my entire life. I don't know.
You should give it a promotion.
I don't know what happened. I'm very curious, but we'll worry about that after business. When you're ready, bring your folks down to the meeting, one of the meeting rooms. I'll have it set up in the same room that Sarge spoke to you in before you took the trials.
Will do. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
And the screen winks out.
Builder will then take a few moments to start waking up the group. However, when they get to Alton's room and Tatsu's room.
So on that,
how
are they right now?
I have noisemakers.
Oh no.
Can I roll a Constitution just to see how I'm doing?
Aaron is a bad person.
Not really. You don't really need to make a roll for something like that, because you handled yourself like okay. You're kind of a seasoned drinker, and it's one of those like you have a hangover. You've experienced them before, so it's not like completely like head splitting. But you sit up and you like you've had them so many times. You're like, okay, this is a level 2. It'll be gone in 45 minutes.
All right.
Meanwhile,
How
in
long we
Tatsu
won't have to woken
Land,
up, right?
As
Not for any
Builder's
reason.
walking in there, some noises are emitted from Builder that are
Oh
fun.
no.
Just because. Just over and over and over.
Never mind.
And
Alton is at least a level 3 now.
After all of that, Ishka has our first meeting. You guys need to be ready in 5.
But I've told everybody else they have like 20 minutes. They're fine.
should Tatsu roll something?
Considering
Only because he's the poor little, like, lost kid. This is, like, the second time he's been drunk ever, and the first time he's been pranked by his team. Yeah, give me a reflex saving throw, because it's not a check, it's a saving throw, because things are being done to you. You're not doing them.
While this happens,
partly because of your game, Blood.
We got a bunch of back and forth rivalries going on that are inter-game now. So, reflex saving throw for Tatsu.
Do you mean dexterity?
Yes. Dex
it is a dex saving throw. I'm also lost on other editions too. We got 16. So, you basically, so there's kind of like a bunk situation. Like, not everybody gets their own, like, this, like, nice bedroom, because this is, like, a combined quarters. Tatsu is, would you say Tatsu is top or bottom bunk sort of guy? If you had a choice.
Tatsu's definitely a bottom.
Nice.
So, with a 16 dex save, you sit up real fast, but you are, you have, like, you're still in the Fighters Guild, and you still have training, and you, even with the blurry vision, see the bottom of the bed above you approaching very quickly, and you stop, and you hold there for a second, and you know, ooh, that was almost bad. But you survived this one.
And then I swing my legs out and hit it at the other barge. Pink.
Okay. Okay. I was iffy about just letting this whole thing turn into an anime before. I'm just on board now. I'm just on board.
You had no control over that, my friend.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so.
Matt, real quick. You said Builder snuck in and placed gift where?
It would have. They would not have violated your personal space. So it would have been door open, package slid in, door closed, right in front of the door.
Okay.
So the way that kind of thing arrives, it's one of those like a hanger in a bag situation. So there's just like basically a black bag with a hanger on your floor that has the stuff in it.
Okay. So Sophia emerges in her new training gear, and she's looking a little bit repentant. And she approaches Builder and she goes, so last night I was attempting a skill I hadn't practiced in a while. I hadn't realized how out of practice I had fallen, but I can do some magical repairs on your cloak and fix it up if you prefer. It doesn't take any effort at all, I promise.
You see emotion on Builder's face, and they kind of look contemplative for a moment, and then kind of off in the distance. And they say,
"No, Fee, I think that the person who gave me this cloak would appreciate the character that you've added to it. They always saw life as a foundation to be built upon. And so adding your unique touches to it, they only strengthen my memories of them. So I appreciate it very much."
Quite touched. She will give Builder a small curtsy and say, and I very much appreciate your kindness.
Okay, so that's going on with Fee and Builder. Alton and Tatsu are just like regaining mortality right now.
You're like, 5 minutes, gotta go. And Builder and Fee are just like,
I can't find my feet in 5
moment.
minutes. What are, I guess I should ask, are there any different, like, morning kind of situations for either Yasana or Haran besides just working on stuff? Is, like, what would other people see in the situation of those guys getting up, if there is any to be seen?
Well, Haran, if Builder woke when it came up, he just sleeps, like he just collapses on his bed,
Like full
just
clothes?
like, yeah, no, 100%. Like he worked up until the point in time where he was like, "Yep, done, boom."
Okay. How about Yasana?
There's no droopy eyelids. There's no getting comfortable on the decks. It's just done.
Yes. Well, he walks over to his bed and just flops. But yeah,
Full clothes. All that.
Yasana doesn't have to sleep as much. It's literally sit down on the floor, meditate for 4 hours, get back up, move along like there's nothing.
Yeah.
No fatigue, no nothing.
It's an interesting sleep cycle around these parts.
Oh, when Builder opened Fee's door, by the way, even though it was very unobtrusive, you would have noticed lots of like new plants cut into pieces and hanging around the room. It's very much becoming a garden and or staging ground for less magical misbehavior.
Good to know.
As Tatsu eventually gets to the meeting room, he just kind of slowly walks up to Builder. You're the only one who can be trusted. If I ever agree to go drinking with Alton again, shoot me.
Builder will put their hand on your shoulder and look at you, because we're about the same height. Builder's pretty tall too.
Mm-hmm.
Look you in the eye and they'll say,
I promise you that I will try and keep you from it. But I also promise that if you don't listen to me, the next time I wake you up will be worse.
You're a good friend.
I like to think so.
Alton just... I hope Alton's walking up at this point, like 5 minutes after to have passed, and he's like out of his room. He's like, oh, why?
You forgot your pants, Alton.
No, I got those. No, Alton would have... Alton knows how to get ready in 5 minutes or less. He's well experienced at being hungover and ready to fight in 5 minutes or less.
That's not wrong. That's fair.
He's an experienced drinker.
So, out of the safety of your room, into one that kind of brings back a few, let's say memories. And Eshka's in there waiting. Everybody just eventually files in, and well, I'm glad to see that you all made it. And he tries to not
so
look
loud.
he tries to not look in that direction. So, it looks like the first job that the guild will be giving you is apparently that of a recovery mission. It is for one of the local shops here in Crucible City. They have apparently run into a bit of trouble. I believe the details on the actual request are always a bit vague, so we will be sending you to investigate and speak with the shopkeep themselves. But it seems there has been a robbery, and the shopkeeper is asking for the return of a very specific sentimental item. The reward for this quest is listed as 400 gold. So apparently they are very determined to get this back.
Did they mention what the item was?
These kind of quests are often intended to start a meeting. So no, they have not actually stated specifics. Frequently, the routine is to get the adventurers to speak with the quest giver themselves, so that they can ascertain and ask questions. I would not be of much help in this. I have never been to looks like it is a apothecary store?
Oh.
Something like that? He actually pulls open a series of things, and the holographic table in front of you like shows a map of Crucible City, and then like expands, enhance, and it comes with a address. And it doesn't seem. It looks like it's one of those things you'd have to like ride the tram to get to. Like, oh, pardon me, not so much an apothecary. It's in the older districts. It looks like it's like a curio shop.
Interesting. What was the name of the shop again?
It's called, the name of the shop itself is just simply called Antiquity.
Very interesting.
And we are being commissioned by one Delilah Gorse. So, here is the address, and he basically just like from the table, little holographic beams of light kind of shoot out to your respective communications devices. So you basically have Google Map coordinates now, and the address. From this point, how you handle this is up to you. There is no listed time limit involved here. Some of them do have time limits. This one appears to not. So you are now, if you accept this, which this seemed to be the best quest we could give you, given when you have graduated past the trial and, well, when, let's say, some of the people back in the records room also had a rough founding day. Thus, get in touch with the client, see if you can solve their needs to the best of your ability, and you have mostly autonomy to decide how to do this yourself, unless the client has specifics of how they would like this done. As this is your first, do you have any questions or concerns about procedures? I've been doing this for a long time, so this seems very rote to me. So there might be questions that I am not thinking to answer that you might have.
As we represent the guild, is there anything in particular upon this first client meeting that we should divulge or a specific way we should be presenting ourselves?
Not in particular. You have your little medallions that prove that you are in fact members of the guild. That is all that we really do. Um, if you, some people are sticklers for tradition, as it were, and still, if you wish it, we can print out the request upon a scroll that you can carry with you. Nobody really does that anymore, but if that's kind of your speed, we can do that.
With the shop's name being Antiquity, that's probably not a bad idea. They might be into the older things.
And Eshka taps a few keys in midair, which are on like a holographic keyboard, lights up as he does it, and you hear like a really. If any of you have heard what a dot matrix printer sounds like when it starts spitting out paper, you hear that noise in parchment. Like it starts coming out, and it is paper that you will have to rip off. It's a very formal contract. It's got all like the verbiage and stuff. It's one of those things that you like look at it and like your eyes kind of glass over a little bit. But it's like the Adventurers Guild does accept the clientele of one Delilah Gores, yada yada yada. Upon completion of task, blah 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 blah. Reward of 400 gold. Seal stamps. Fake signature by Guildmaster Ravenlash, yada yada. It looks like every contract that you've ever seen in mass production. But you have that now.
Thank you, Eshka.
Super official.
Is there anything else? Or, I mean, you guys can shuffle off and do this at any point. Or, again, there's no time limit.
The sooner we get this started, the sooner we get it completed, right?
Yes, that's accurate.
Suppose we can grab breakfast on the way, right?
Fee sort of looks between Alton and Tatsu and is like,
there is greasy hangover food down in the cafeteria right now. It's
I
full.
imagine some of us are in need of that.
You are a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad drinking with me. Even though you did kind of get your ass handed to you by a sweeper bot.
Before he can laugh,
Careful.
bows very gentlemanly. Being undead does a really good job of hiding any chuckle he might have, and then excuses himself out of the room.
Biscuits and gravy. That's what you need, Tatsu. Biscuits and gravy. It's a great hangover cure. 10 out of 10 recommend.
I second guess any advice you give.
Hear me out. Stop drinking.
Yeah, that makes too much sense for all Good Barrel to do.
It's the smartest thing I've heard all morning.
With a name like Good Barrel, how could he not drink?
See, he gets it.
Then it would be ironic, and it would make people think more about him.
I don't know that he has so many layers.
I have enough layers to get me by in life.
I think if Alton ever gave good advice, his DNA would start to unravel.
Well, you kids go eat. The best will finish getting ready.
I'm telling you, biscuits and gravy. Great hangover cure.
As Satan's light up, is Yasana doing anything? Or getting involved with this at all?
She's just watching. Not saying a word. Waiting for things to unfold.
So
Tatsu would get to the cafeteria and look at
Never mind that.
the greasiest thing just sitting out and grab it.
this day, this glorious day, hangover breakfast is free. It's like they just know. Although, you do hear, there's like a small crowd in like the corner. And you're not quite sure. There's like a few like of the adventurers like laughing, and you're not really sure like who they're gathered around until they hear that somebody's talking and goes, "There's a reason they say I cleaned the house." And it's fucking sweet, but people seem to be like gathered around like I didn't know you could do that. Did anyone know that he could do that?
Oh god, do what?
Alton grabs some biscuit. Do I see biscuits and gravy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
First.
It's just every kind of greasy, like sausage,
Perfect.
gravy, the works.
Perfect. Alton grabs some biscuits and gravy and goes, "Don't beat yourself up too much, Tatsu. You were sloppy drunk. You were sloppy drunk and an easy target.
Just
had a bone.
end of patience with this line of questioning. Turns to Alton and just like, why would I beat myself up when beating you up would be so much more fun?
Is anybody down at breakfast besides those two?
Half the guild, apparently.
Half the guild is down there. I mean, of our number here. Not really.
I'm gonna take the silence as a no.
Okay. There's a brief pause in that, and there's a, because we're kind of sitting at the point where like if we start getting this quest going like right now, we would get started and then basically have to stop right after. So I'm gonna add one little bit on the end here, as we have been following, this little mini episode has been following Alton and Tatsu around this whole time. Right as soon as Tatsu basically threatens the life of Alton Goodbarrel, there's a little, he feels a pat on his shoulder, and at first you're like, oh god, is it the fucking robot? But he looks down, no, it's a gloved black hand, and you hear a voice behind you go, you guys look terrible. Are you doing all right?
He just points his thumb. Is like, I have a polyp that needs to be removed.
I can
and
do
he just
that.
points at Alton.
And then the the plague doctor like does this. He's not like as tall as Tatsu or Builder, but he's tall and thin. And he kind of like unnaturally like bends over Tatsu's shoulder, like almost like he doesn't have a spine properly at the waist, like leans over, like looking closer at Alton's like, "There's the polyp."
He was referring to me. He's a little, and by a little I mean a lot, hungover. We're both very hungover. Thanks,
Oh, I see that you're jesting. You're not actually proposing to give me a chance to operate again. I understand. It's very disappointing.
Comedians we.
Well, if you need a special tonic or something, just let me know. My office is always open for you. It seems that there's a little bit of popularity for the lot of you after you have completed the trials lately. I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
Yes.
We certainly made quite the impression on more than a few people
The
in the
media
past.
streams are all talking about you. They love little Gorko. Just like that's all the people are talking about. He's like found a band and whatnot already. And they're all saying that you rescued him. You're like rising stars. It's everybody. I've heard nothing but good things. Have you watched the feeds about you?
Not in too much detail.
He seemed flattering.
Do not get onto social media. It's very strange. There's a bunch of people who are very, I guess the word is fangirling about your little dwarven friends. I don't know why. It's just, there's a whole thing going on. Social media is, as the kid says, it's blowing up. It's all kinds of nonsense.
Alton immediately goes to check all the social media feeds about our group.
The first thing that you see is there's a picture in it's out of there's no monster in frame, but you remember it was the shit room because you just remember the horrible room that was. And there's a picture of Haran, and he's just screaming and shooting and looking like mortified, like he hates everything about this. But somebody on the internet has made little hearts around it.
I'm glad he has not discovered any of this.
Oh, don't worry. He will.
There's several more.
Alton saved every picture that he finds involving Haran and the hearts and all the fangirling so he could show them later.
And there's with that aside, so Dr. Frederick does actually eventually leave you to eat in peace. But besides the goofy stuff there, actually getting on any form of social media in Crucible City, it's kind of overwhelming. There's so many different cultures, so many different languages, so many different everything. But you do kind of pick up generally the lost ones, as you have picked as an official name, are a little bit of the talk of the town now. There's pictures of all you going through your trials, and especially because you went in and saved a adventurer that the previous party that had failed had left behind. I would say you guys are this close to small scale celebrities. It's kind of like being internet famous when somebody just started and they'd started off good.
So, who are they shipping?
Right now, it's without question, it's Alton and Gorko. It's just what's happening.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not even a thing.
Alton's here for that.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Although, as you scroll through more, because you're looking for this shit at this point, there's one picture of Tatsu and Builder just kind of staring at each other at that point where they weren't really sure if they could trust each other. They're sizing each other up, and there's just little oh my gods at the bottom. Someone had written, "It is the internet. They have no restraint, and they know that you exist."
Oh,
everybody else
God,
is in there.
no.
Everybody else is in there. Fee's in there. Yasana's in there. They don't seem to have the internet is not focused on them directly, but it's not they're ignored. Well, the weird shippers have ignored, but names and likenesses are about.
I found the fan art of Tatsu and Builder.
I will look at that later. Maybe if it's viable, maybe we'll post it as a thumbnail for the YouTube video. Maybe. No, just no. Okay. So now that nonsense is done with, are there any preparations at home the rest of the gang want to do before they go? Because that's probably where we're going to end it. We have a few more minutes, but
Tatsu does look at the social media stuff about them and instantly feels all his goals become unattainable. Meanwhile, on Draconis, what the fuck?
There's just a shot.
Sorry.
I'll do it later. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I sent you actually oh Lord, the voice in the sky, a list of things for my little witch kid, if that is acceptable, as like her little medical bag.
Write this exact thing down, because in the scroll of Discord, I will eventually lose it. 100% all of these, especially the last two, perfect. Yeah. Those are very acceptable, especially for the cost that you got them at. So yeah, that's all super good. Is anybody else doing anything before they set out? Pre-gaming, or is it just getting stuff ready to go? Oh no! Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Because I can.
Oh, you've been hacked.
Shit.
You so
Matt, do you have DM inspiration right now?
I do. Unfortunately, I do.
Okay. I was gonna say yes, you do. No matter what you answered. But yeah, are there any pre-prep things going on, or is it just like getting gear on back and ready to go?
Yes.
How much time are we having before we leave?
As much time as you guys actually want to physically.
All right, then I'm going to try and find. While they're all looking at all the ships and everything that are going on in the internet, Haran is actually going to pull up a build schematic for the place we're going, or was supposedly robbed.
Okay, so that'll be an investigation check.
Okay.
Doing research on the internet. I'm sure it's all going to be 100% accurate.
Uh-huh. But at least it's something to go into.
It's better because he's not looking up.
It's like a kiss cam.
That's even. Oh, hot damn. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore all those shenanigans and I'm gonna start talking about stuff. Haran.
Somebody needs to stop while they're ahead.
Haran, you find a significant chunk of stuff. So, this place called Antiquity, right, is you get the address, and you doesn't really mean anything. You're kind of new at the city. With a 20, it's kind of in a part of town that used to be like decent middle class, but it has since come into some decline. Already you can kind of figure out a little bit what's going on with it, because it seems like there has been an increase in gang activity in the area significantly. There's gang activity as now that you're looking through the internet and looking more about the increase of the city itself. There are good districts. There are districts where it is very close to like a combat zone. There's a lot of lots of information. Okay, so thanks for rolling that 20, science man. And if you want, this can be on like big screen, so other people can all see this at the same time.
Yeah, that's
looking
fine.
over it. There are all kinds of districts in it. There's like the equivalent of like how bigger cities have like a Chinatown, Little Italy, and stuff. There are districts where there's a lot of blending together, and there are also districts where each of the various species from all of the planets kind of congregate together. There is like a Japantown that is like all for Dragonborn mostly. They just like a little bit of home in Crucible City. There are really there's a Thrakish district that is got a very steep crime rate because orc culture is orc culture. And violence is just a thing that happens. Where you're going isn't the actual yay close to a war zone that some of the orc districts are that have big walls around them. You're going to something that very much looked like it was a nice place before. You see a lot of pictures of you don't get a name because there's not a lot of information on any of the gangs. You do see a lot of what looks like humans wearing like black and blue colors with a lot of skull motifs, like bandanas that have like the lower like the grinning skull face. A lot of skull motifs with black and blue. With the 20, you also get into a little bit of the shop. It's a newer shop. It definitely opened in the area within the last 5 years compared to some of the other shops that have been here. Like, this city is hundreds and hundreds of years old.
Okay.
So, new moving in. And it is listed to belong to a Delilah Gorse and a Turs Gorse, as if it was a married couple. Co-ownership.
Okay.
The store itself doesn't seem to have any real... it doesn't look like they were really great at marketing, so there's not like a website or anything that you could really see about. But you get a few ratings, and it looks like it's one of those stores that you could probably find a lot of in actually one of those things that you look at and you're like, this would be the place the Asana would want to hang out. It's got old stuff, it's got a whole bunch of old literature, actual physical books, and maybe the odd magical item, maybe, but it's a lot of history, it's a lot of curio stuff.
Okay.
And I would say with a 20, besides getting a very detailed, you wouldn't know how to exactly get there and could very easily, even without the GPS locations that you have, you could find this place in the dark now.
Cool.
That's pretty much it.
She's gonna make some tinctures and stuff while they prep.
Okay.
With her medical knowledge.
Medical knowledge. Let me look at your character sheet super fast, and we'll determine.
I have this one in my character sheet as opposed to in my backstory.
I was gonna say how this one gonna work out. So this would be.
That I'm rolling well, but at least I have an opportunity here.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll a medicine check on that. Better. So yeah.
It's hard to beat 2 nat 1s in a row, so.
It's not. I've lived that life. It's not. I was a player and I've lived that life, and it's not harder to beat that. It can get worse. It could always get worse.
I know. I played Vampire the first game and didn't roll anything except once.
How do we put virtual dice in dice jail? We can't.
Change your color.
Valid.
I mean,
that's all I got. So, does anyone else have anything, or are we gonna head out?
Just a quick stop by the doctor's to get that hangover cure. Get disadvantage taken off my
problem at all. And like without
the
without
biggest
asking,
needle you ever saw.
without asking permission or anything, you just like it's like you got punched in the neck with like the end of a pipe, and you have a hard time swallowing for about 5 seconds, and you're like, oh, I thought that would hurt longer. Why am I not hungover?
Is it like a instant banana bag?
Okay.
The banana bag bolus.
Alton just sees this and says, I'll keep my old-fashioned hangover cure.
Are you sure? I've got plenty for everybody. And he's got these injection guns in his hand.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Are you sure? And then he starts like cartoonishly like chasing after you with no real intention on catching you, but just gets you out of his office.
Come on, Tatu, we've got to go get ready.
I can tell who the who wears the pants in that relationship.
Yeah.
As Alton gets to the room, he says, so I was informed about some other interesting stuff that after we finish this quest, I'll show you all. For now, I'll keep it to myself.
Ominous.
Alrighty. If we're ready to set off otherwise?
Yep.
I have fun.
Yeah.
And on that note, the party heads out into the teeming masses that is Crucible City, that no longer has fireworks. Delete. There you go. But yeah, so the party heads out on.
Our intrepid adventurers heading out on their first quest. Full of vim and vigor and no more alcohol, because that shit wound up in the toilets.
No, that's the problem. It didn't.
Next time on D&D Galactic.
I should not have this power. Anyways, that is where we're going to cut it for tonight. Next time we're going to get right into the actual adventuring portion. Downtime done. Things picked up. Totally not cursed artifacts found or threatened. Yep. It's all Gucci. As always, thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Thank you, Intrepid Adventurers, for playing with me in my fun little game.
Woo.
So yeah, that's